He was banished to a deserted island, just because of one sentence. No throne, no riches, only his hands, his will, and a belief no one dared to speak. This is the story of Mai An Tiem, the man who turned exile into legacy, and who gave Vietnam its very first watermelon. Once upon a time, during the reign of the 18th Hung King, when the land of Vietnam still bore the pure shape of rivers and mountains, there lived a remarkable young man in the royal court of Van Lang. His name was Mai An Tiem. Though not born of noble blood, An Tiem possessed exceptional intelligence, great strength, and an indomitable spirit. Impressed by his talents, the Hung King adopted him as a royal son, granting him a title and a place in the palace. Beneath the golden roof of the palace, where princes and courtiers competed for status and splendor, An Tiem lived a simple, humble life. He cared little for feasts or luxury. Instead, he spent his days laboring, training his body, reading bamboo scrolls, and often visiting the poor outside the capital to lend them a helping hand. Even while surrounded by power and privilege, An Tiem held on to a personal belief, plain yet profound. Gifts carry burdens, and offerings come with debts. To ordinary folk, this saying was a moral reminder. But in the palace, where everything came from royal favor and privilege, it was seen as an offense. Some praised him as a man of principle, others scorned him as arrogant and ungrateful. And so, that very belief became the first breeze to stir the winds of An Tiem's fate. It was that very saying that turned An Tiem's world upside down. When the words "gifts carry burdens" and "offerings come with debts" reached the ears of the Hung King, the atmosphere in the royal court grew tense. Some praised An Tiem's honesty, but many accused him of arrogance, disrespecting the grace of the king. Even the Hung King, who once held deep affection for An Tiem, could not suppress his fury. To him, such defiance rang like a jarring bell in the sacred halls, a speck of dust on a royal platter. And so a decree was made: strip him of all royal favors, exile him along with his wife and child to a deserted island in the Eastern Sea. Let them live or perish on their own. No pleas, no tears, no resistance. An Tiem simply bowed in silence. With only a few belongings, he and his family left the palace and boarded a small wooden boat that drifted into the vast open sea, to a place untouched by man, where barren rocks met the shore, where no fresh water flowed and no shelter stood. But in that place, which seemed the very end of hope, An Tiem began to live as one truly born of the earth. He built shelter from palm leaves, sharpened axes from stone, cleared sun-scorched soil, drew water from the morning dew, and turned sweat into grains of rice. His devoted wife gathered firewood. Their young child helped stack stones into walls. In hardship, this little family still gathered each evening around a humble meal beneath the fading light, smiles on their faces, no bitterness in their hearts. They had nothing except their resilience, and from that alone, they built everything. On a barren island, where life seemed unable to take root, a miracle quietly began to grow. One early morning, as a thin veil of mist still blanketed the earth, An Tiem was sweeping in front of his small leaf-thatched hut when a strange bird swooped down onto the sandy shore. It stayed only briefly, then flew off, leaving behind a few tiny black seeds rolling in the wind. No one knew what kind of seeds they were, but An Tiem bent down, picked them up, studied them for a long while, and gently smiled. Every plant is a blessing. If the soil is dry, well, water it with our sweat. He chose a spot at the foot of the hill, where the ground was least rocky, dug handfuls of hardened earth, and placed the mysterious seeds into the soil, as if entrusting his hopes to it. There was no fertilizer, no well water, only morning dew, calloused hands, and a quiet belief that whatever is born of the earth will thrive by the earth. Days turned into weeks. Under scorching sun and salty wind, green vines slowly crept across the land. The leaves grew large as open palms, and the tendrils clung to the soil as if refusing to let go. From those vines and blossoms, round fruits began to swell, dark green like polished stone. When An Tiem gently cut into one, the rind peeled back, revealing a brilliant crimson inside. Cool juice ran down his fingers. The fragrance was strange but pleasant. A refreshing sweetness burst onto his tongue, unlike any fruit he had ever tasted. His wife laughed. His child squealed with joy. A miracle had bloomed from barren land, a reward for resilience. A fruit no one had ever seen before, one the world would come to know as the watermelon. The sweet fruit had ripened. But how could the world ever know of it from a nameless island lost to the sea? An Tiem stood among his lush green melon vines. The fruits were large and round, with taut glossy rinds and crimson flesh bursting with sweet, refreshing juice. He knew. These weren't just food. They were a miracle, and miracles shouldn't be hidden. Then a thought flashed through his mind. He picked up a knife and carved onto each melon a simple line. Mai An Tiem the grower. He chose the biggest, most perfect fruits, laid them gently on a bamboo raft and set it adrift, letting the winds and waves carry his message to the world. No introductions, no flattery, just the fruit and the truth inside it. One day a merchant found a strange melon washed up on the shore. Its rind was firm, its color striking, and a strange name carved onto it. Curious, he split it open, and the sweet taste that hit his tongue made him shiver with astonishment. Word spread quickly through the harbors and markets. People began to ask, "Where did this fruit come from? Who is Mai An Tiem?" A fruit that grows on a deserted island without anyone planting it. Then one day, trading boats followed the carved name back to the island. There, they found An Tiem. They saw his watermelon fields, his calloused hands, and his calm, steady gaze. "Did you grow these fruits?" "Yes. And that's all I have to trade for rice and salt." For the first time, the melons were exchanged for gold, cloth, and provisions. For the first time, An Tiem and his family didn't just survive but lived well on the very land once meant to be their punishment. From that moment, his name echoed far and wide, not because he was the king's adopted son, but because he had turned rock into gardens, hardship into hope, and a deserted island into a thriving marketplace. True gold fears no fire. A sincere heart, though buried, will always shine. Word of the miracle spread far and wide. The sweet, juicy melons with crimson flesh and glistening green rinds, each bearing the carved name Mai An Tiem, had made their way across markets, trading boats, and officials' halls throughout the land of Van Lung. As the fruit reached the merchants and the story reached the common folk, it eventually made its way to the royal palace. The king, who had once raised An Tiem, then exiled him in anger, was shocked. Melons from a deserted island? That name, Mai An Tiem. A royal envoy was dispatched, not to judge but to witness for himself. Could an exile truly turn barren rock into sweet fruit? At the island once known as a land of buried death, the envoy arrived and saw the unimaginable. A melon field stretching to the waves, a modest hut, warm and full of life. A man with calloused hands wearing a brown robe, calm eyes free of bitterness. "Do you bear any resentment toward His Majesty?" "No." "Then what do you wish for?" "Only to live by the work of my own hands." Those words returned to the royal court, not as a plea, but as a reminder to the king. Grace does not make one strong. Trials forge the true heart. And so, a royal decree was issued. A boat was sent to bring An Tiem and his family back to the capital. There were no trumpets, no flags. An Tiem stepped into the golden hall barefoot, his gaze steady and peaceful. The king looked at him, not with anger, not with pride, but with quiet admiration. "You have grown, not in years, but in character." From that day on, Mai An Tiem's title was restored. But he did not choose to stay in the palace. Instead, he requested to return to the coastal land, the very place where he had built a life from nothing. "I do not belong to the throne. I belong to the earth. And through the earth, I came to truly know who I am." From exile to legend, Mai An Tiem proved that even on a barren island with nothing but faith and bare hands, you can grow greatness. If his story inspired you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this tale so more people remember the roots of resilience. See you in the next legend.